Alright, you picked the year 1930. There is not a lot going on in that age, so I got some time to tell you a bit about the bells. In that time the bells were normally used, and everything was fine for the bells and the church. As you can see, the church had 5 bells in the main tower, in a massive steel construction. They had the notes D0, F0, A0, B0 and C1. In this time, the D0 was the biggest bell of the bell foundry who casted it, and it was one of the biggest bells in Germany with 13.2 tons. All 5 bells were made from the same foundry in 1894. By the way, it's the same foundry who casted the Peter Bell of the Cologne Cathedral with 24 tons, later in 1923. Of course they were ranked by robes in the past. They needed 8 people, 4 people on each side, to ring the D0. When there was a full ring, 20 people were needed to ring the bells. 8 for the D0, 4 for the F0, and the A0, and 2 people for the B0, and the C1. The bells had really long clappers. That got a special reason. It's making the ringing by robes much easier, cause you don't need to swing the bell that high, to get a hit from the clapper. The bells were made out of old cannons. Sadly, later they got taken out of the tower for their material, to make cannons again for war. But that will be another year to talk about. See you later in another year. Hi, nice to see you again. You picked the year 1943. As you can see, there is something going on in the tower. The bells are getting removed out of the tower. They opened a window, and they had to unbuild a bit of the bell structure to be able to remove the 3 biggest bells from there. The bells only were hanging in the tower for 49 years. So they were not really old when they got taken out again. Like in many other churches, they were able to keep the smallest bell of the ring. So the C1 was the only bell that could stay up there to continue ringing. Already a sad history of that ring. But it will get even worse later. See ya in the next year. Now we are in 1945, in the night of November 22. That was the night when the city got attacked and bombed to the ground. Many bombs hit the church and the tower. You can see a lot of destruction. Also, the C1 that was still hanging in the tower fell off, broke through the wood planks and hit the floor underneath. The upper side of the bell was completely destroyed after that. The bell structure slowly began to fall apart and some bombs destroyed the roof of the tower. It was terrible what happened in that night. Now we are in the modern world, and in the last area for this game. Most of the tower is empty now. Destroyed windows, and almost everything of the roof is gone. They stabilized the tower with a lot of metal. In the middle of the tower is a little structure. If you go up there, you will find a small carillon. That is what the tower looks like today. Destroyed of the war. They built a more modern church around the old tower with new bells. The tower only still exists to show people how terrible war is, and what it can do to the world. I hope I was able to teach you a bit of the history of that bells and the church. It's important to show people stuff of the past, so we can do things better in the future, and learn from our mistakes. I built that game cause showing people history in a visual way can be more interesting than reading it on a page on the internet. I hope I succeeded in that point. Thanks for playing and have a nice day. Goodbye.